Today on the show, ACCC's 2023 Advocacy Agenda. Welcome back to Cancer Buzz. I'm your host, Summer Johnson. Each year, ACCC works with policymakers at the state and federal level to ensure cancer programs and practices can deliver the very best care to their patients. Our guest joins us today to discuss what's on this year's policy agenda. Dr. Barbara Schmidtman is the Vice President of Operations at Corewell Health and the Chair of ACCC's Governmental Affairs Committee.
So each year, the ACCC, we're active at the state and federal level on advocating for our members to ensure that rules and regulations and all of those different important topics are really met so we can make sure we're impacting the quality of care delivery. So there are four main areas that we're focusing on this year for our advocacy agenda. The first one is to protect adequate and stable reimbursement for oncology providers. The second one is to reduce delays in care due to utilization management. The third one is to preserve provider and patient choice in cancer treatment. And then the last one is to improve access to and coverage of supportive oncology services.
How do payer policies like pre-authorizations and step therapies affect cancer programs?
Yeah, so I think from just a national level, some of the models that have stemmed off of step therapy, they can act as significant barriers for our patients who have cancer and, ultimately patients who need access to these necessary therapies. Prior authorization processes becoming incredibly complex is making it difficult for our clinicians, as well as looking at the time intensity for having to get prior authorization for services that may need to be rendered relatively quickly. So overall, that's one of the beautiful things about our advocacy agenda in this reduction or, to try and reduce delays in that care delivery based on, payer rules and regulations.
How do cancer programs pay for comprehensive cancer care services that are not currently reimbursed?
So there's a couple of different ways to look at that. Some cancer programs, will use philanthropic funds to help to offset the cost of those different supportive services. Other cancer programs will just have to essentially eat the cost of, making sure that you have those necessary supportive services, be it social work or nurse navigation, our financial navigators, all of these roles that are absolutely impactful to the patient journey. Sometimes it's just difficult. And then when you start thinking through some of our, the centers in which, our members are a part of in smaller rural communities, having not only philanthropic support, but also, being able to get support and justification for those types of roles is really difficult from a financial perspective. And so in those situations, it's great that we have a plethora of resources within the ACCC to help those centers to find ways to justify the importance of those roles.
Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share with your colleagues?
Yeah, the only other one that I would like to mention is the importance of looking at continued access to telehealth coverage. So this is a really important topic that I think we need to continue to bring up over the course of the next couple of years. So telehealth functionalities or capabilities have been extended through 2024. Just this last year. However, as we look at the shortage of medical oncologists and specially trained providers that cancer patients need, and then bringing back into perspective rural communities that do not always have access to highly specialized or subspecialized clinicians, the use of telehealth is incredibly impactful for providing care to those rural communities. So this is another important issue that we have advocated on. We will continue to have advocacy in our governmental work for the ACCC.
Thank you, Dr. Schmidtman, for joining us today. You can visit the show notes to find out more about ACCC's 2023 Advocacy Agenda. Until next time, for the entire Cancer Buzz team, this is Summer Johnson.
This show is a resource of the Association of Community Cancer Centers.